They came back from the studio, A$AP Rocky and John Baptiste, the one upstairs, and they were like, let's go for a walk or something. And they were like, bring your instruments. And so we go, and it's like, we went to Small's Jazz Club. So it's like, we had uploaded that. And then Finesse Live is another version that I had done at a lake where I played over what I played over before. And that was the one that ended up being the TikTok dance. The only route for classical musicians has been playing like Beethoven and Bach and all that to be in a symphony where you can't miss any notes. And it's like, at our concerts, you can miss notes, you can do whatever, you know, play whatever. They don't put it up until a couple months, so it's like, we just went about our business, and then they dropped it, and it's like, wow, we're on tiny desk. Yeah, it's crazy to see how it went from me getting there and it being a backyard to it now being like a stadium.
Michael Prince, what's going on, bro?
Nothing much.
How are you? Good.
Excellent.
Good. I got to get better at my intros. I need to learn like the Vlad. Like we got a very I appreciate your time. You know, we do have a very special guest in the building. I'm really excited to talk to you. I know we met a couple times, like briefly at a few events and stuff like that. But got a lot of stuff that we need to cover, I think. So I'm excited to get in and just kind of get a little deeper into your story. You do a good job of covering stuff, but I feel like there's some things that people may not know. So obviously, I think, right, you grew up in Houston, correct?
Yep, Third Ward.
Okay. So explain, we're in Oklahoma, obviously. A lot of people know what that means, but if not, kind of just explain.
It's basically like the central Houston near the downtown area. Houston kind of has like two big loops, so there might be an inner loop and then an outer loop. So it's basically from the inner city. So that's where I kind of grew up, like in the midst of like a big city.
Okay, so like right in the middle of Houston, essentially. Yeah. Okay, absolutely. Were you? What kind of kid were you? Playing sports? I
went outside a lot.
Okay.
My dad grew up in the country in Hallettsville, Texas. So we were getting outside. We were fishing very young. So like I was fishing, I was doing basketball. I didn't do too much basketball because I was doing a lot of like string music education. So it's like I kind of had a little bit of everything, a little balance.
So you got into music pretty early?
Yeah.
Okay.
First grade.
Okay. Was that something that like you pursued, or was that something that like family?
It's like Houston just is really good for music. Like their music education, they have like magnet schools. So I came into a magnet school, Parker Elementary, where you just get a violin in first grade. Well, I chose a violin, but you basically get to choose whatever instrument. You have general music when you're a kindergartner. So you basically get like introduced to like every single instrument, and then you get to choose one in first grade. And my sister did the cello 2 years before me. So I just went with something that looked like it, but was smaller.
Okay. That's really cool, because our kind of the extent of our music class was like a recorder,
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Like there wasn't
Yeah.
And I feel like that's important and probably plays into the impact music has in Houston area, that there's a focus on it, because
we had lessons too. We had like free lessons with school, like each week we would have a private lesson
like an after school thing, or
no, during school sometimes, like ancillary periods. They had it down like one day you would have violin class, and then one day it would be a lesson. And
that's super dope. So is it, was that just instantly like you knew violin was something that you like took a liking to, or?
I love doing it because it's like that's what we did growing up. It's like that was one of the passions growing up, but I didn't necessarily want to do it long term. I actually wanted to. I was looking at OU for engineering before I was looking at OU for music, and like I ended up switching from wanting to pursue engineering. Like my whole life I wanted to be a mechanical engineer, but then I just changed my mind last second, and music was the thing that I had been doing consistently my whole life. So it's like I was already like to the point where it's like I could get scholarships for music. So I did that at OU.
Okay, so you were, I mean, what drew you to OU?
At first, it was when Buddy Hield sent them to like they were the final four, I think, one year.
I think his senior year, yeah, something like that.
Either Final Four or close to it. So it's like I was interested in them because of basketball, and then after that, it's like I was watching the football team. That's when they had like Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and then I came here. Yeah.
Okay. That's probably not a popular. I mean, I went to OU too. There's a ton of people from Houston, but it seems like it's kind of against the grain, I would think, in that part of Texas.
But they heavily recruit African American students like from Houston. They have like a bus trip that I was exposed to when I was younger. I think I was in like high school, but they like basically bus kids from Houston and Dallas up to OU to basically get to visit the school and just see the campus. And it's like, for me, OU was like far enough but close enough from home where it's like
spread your wings a little bit. But
it was a 6 hour, it's like 6.5 to 7 hours from Houston. So that's like, that can be done in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, so you were planning on going to OU regardless.
Yeah, pretty much.
Throughout high school.
It was between OU and North Texas.
Okay.
In Denton.
Yeah.
Yep.
So talk about the switch into, deciding to go into a music path in school.
It was like,
because what did you study exactly?
Music. I was music education because it's like I also had a passion for teaching. Like all my life I had been like teaching or coaching or just working with the youth. So I wanted to get a teaching degree that came with the music education degree. Like by default, you get the teacher's certificate. But I actually changed my major 2 years into my violin performance because I was like, I actually went and taught in Norman North High School. Like we got to student teach my sophomore year, and I went in there and it's like I was conducting. It was during COVID too, so it's like everyone was spaced out with masks, and we were just like, I was just conducting like a beginning orchestra, and it's like I wanted to be able to impact more than just one ensemble and having to come back week after week and try to like get them to like perfect like a curriculum that's like given to you by the state.
Yeah.
And so I kind of was like, okay, let me just switch to violin performance, focus on like my playing more and just doing like side gigs and stuff. And then, I just graduated with a degree in violin performance.
I feel like that's kind of to me at least, that would be kind of a scary transition because like music education, the path, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I kind of like made it safe, to like my parents and my teachers by saying like, okay, my intention is to like, if I need to teach, I can always take this teacher certification course like in Houston when I come back, like maybe at University of Houston or something, and get that. So if I needed to get a job teaching, I could do that. But I was like, I really wanted to like get a doctorate. Like that was the path. Like I was like, let me do less, not do too much now. Like, cause music ed is like a lot of education. It's like music plus education courses. So it's a lot. And I was like, let me do less so that I could do more longer term. And I was going to go to North Texas to get my master's and then get my doctorate somewhere, crazy, maybe go to New York or something so I could be able to like teach everywhere and, record and all that stuff. Like the typical path for like musicians in the industry.
Yeah. So, obviously you didn't take that path. Mm-mm. So kind of talk about what, I guess derailed isn't the right word, but specific path like took you off of that trajectory.
It was meeting LaRussell. And that happened, I believe, it might have been junior year of OU. I had played to a TikTok of his, and that was first when I had first started posting. So I played to it, and then I tagged him. I posted it, and that was like my first time playing to like something like that. And it's like he liked it, and then messaged me, and that was back when he was like, he might have had like 80,000 followers back then. But he messaged me. He was like, "Yo, you should come do a show." And then I think like August of that year, I flew out there to Vallejo. It was in his backyard. It was crazy. And then like ever since that point, it's like he called me back out there, and it's like I was still in school. So it's like it kind of started getting crazy and picking up like right as I was about to graduate. And it was like perfect that I had switched my major, because it's like it gave me the ability to actually travel and tour. And it's like my professors at OU really like worked with me to be able to like be doing what I'm doing and still get my credits for my classes. And yeah, I just kept touring, and then I graduated. But yeah.
So was it something like specific that made you pick a LaRussell song? Like, explain that first video. Like, you were just playing over one of his songs, right?
I was doom scrolling on TikTok, and it's like usually when I've never listened to music for the actual like lyrics as much growing up as a kid as I have for like the actual music and how it makes me like feel. So when I was scrolling, like that was the first time a rapper had made me stop scrolling. Like, cause it was him rapping with an acoustic piano outside the corner store in his neighborhood. And it's like, it looked like somebody that would be outside a shop in my neighborhood. And it's like, he also said something that like resonated with me. He said like hooping with holes in my shoes. And it's like, I connected with hooping with holes in my shoes. So it's like, that's why I recorded to it. And then it's like, he was someone just like me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I mean, just talk about kind of that time. I mean, I know you talked about like the school side of things, but just, I mean, did that feel like it was kind of happening quick? Like, I mean,
it's like compared to now, I'm like, that was happening slow. But like it was fast, honestly. It was a lot of like just going for it and like having faith that like things would work out, because it's like I was still a college student. Like I still worked too. So like I was working in the cafeteria, and I having to tell my managers and stuff like, guys, I'm getting asked to fly to California and play my instrument. And they're like, huh? And they're like, what about work? And I'm like, well, I'll have to just make up the, money with the hours elsewhere. And it's like, I was like selling my audios online, like violin audios and stuff, to try to like be able to like even go back and forth and travel. So it's like, it was crazy.
So at that point, were you recording any music? Or was it all just like live stuff?
No, I dropped my first project. I don't even know, man. I think it's 2021. I dropped a project called Therapy Volume 1. And that was basically just like me acoustic stuff. No, I lied. I did make a song when I was I think I was in like 6th grade or 5th grade. In 2014.
Okay.
But that was just like playing around on GarageBand, not like really intentionally dropping it. I put it on SoundCloud. I showed it to everyone I know. It's called Better Place. It was like, I made it from scratch, with the violin and me singing and stuff. But I didn't really start intentionally releasing music until like I started learning how to, through LaRussell and just seeing like how to actually like monetize dropping music. So yeah, after that happened, and it's like I was like, oh, I see, I gotta start dropping music as much as possible.
Yeah, I you mentioned like making a song when you were younger. I wanted to. We don't have to go too deep into this right now because I have more that I want to get into later about it. But just, especially in Houston, like there's a deep, hip hop and like even like R&B type of influence in doing something. Violin doesn't necessarily fit into that mold. So was that like different for you growing up? Like, were you ever conscious of that? Like, I'm doing something that's a little bit out of the norm?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was out of the norm just being, a black person playing the violin in the ensemble. So it's like I was supposed to be, on the drums or the keys or whatever. So it's like I was already out of the norm. So it's like I was kind of used to it. But then it's like when I had the opportunity to then get back into my culture, by playing the jazz or playing R&B, it's like I started doing it a little bit in like high school, and I would get made fun of for it. They'd be like, nah, you need to go back to classical, like stay there. But like I kind of, got better at it, started going into hip hop. I think really like touring with LaRussell gave me a lot of like confidence in being able to just play whatever and be confident in playing whatever and looking confident in playing whatever, because it's like his sets, he'll just like do random songs. Like when I went out there, I asked him like, do you have a set list? And he was like, nah, I just go with the flow. And then I go and look at his music, and it's like 20 plus albums, and I'm listening, and each is a different song, and I'm like, I can't even learn all this. So it's like I just showed up ready to play, and it just worked out.
Yeah, I want to talk about the touring aspect a little bit, but I'm curious just because I've only seen the backyard shows on TikTok. Really, like, what is that like? I mean, the energy seems crazy.
It's crazy to see how it went from me getting there and it being a backyard to it now being like a stadium. And it's like when I got there, it's like LaRussell was able to convey to me and to everyone there that was there when it was like that. He was able to convey that it's like, oh, it's going to be like this one day. It's going to be like an arena. People are going to be paying, $1,000 plus for tickets. Like, all of that stuff, it's like he was able to say that he was going to do anything necessary to make it get to that point. So being able to see it just go like this has been crazy.
Yeah. For sure. And kind of, it's almost like you couldn't have connected with him at a better time, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, because he was already, a name. Like he was doing his thing already. But it's like a whole different, ball game now.
Yeah, for real.
So I mean, just talk about like from your perspective, I guess, kind of seeing like you said, the difference from a backyard but him also knowing.
Yeah, it's really, I'm grateful because it's like he's been like a mentor throughout like my life and development past just like the business side of things. And it's like I've seen him develop as a human. It's like I've developed as a human. Like he moved me out to Vallejo like to live out there after I graduated for like I think like a year and a half, because like we were touring, so it's like it wasn't making sense for me to just keep going from Houston when it's like I could just be out there and we just travel from there and stuff. So I was out there working, like grinding, and it's just like I was just learning the game. It's like when I got there, he told me that he was like sleeping on his mom's mattress at her house, like the same house with the backyard that he was doing shows in. And it's like now it's like he's built a whole compound. Like, yeah, it's like artist spaces, you know, residency. I was living there with Malachi. I don't know if you've heard of Malachi. He's a rapper, but it's like he's young and upcoming. It's like everyone's just like learning, working, grinding, and it's like the level of things that they're doing is like reflecting the level of work that they've been doing for a long time. And it's like now they're finally getting like the respect from a lot of work that he's been doing before, like the 10 years plus.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I know you've got to do a bunch of, you know, cool things. You guys have gone, you know, crazy shows and stuff like that. I have one that I want to ask you specifically about, but is there one like show or experience or something that stands out as just like particularly, you know, crazy to you?
I'm not as crazy. Man.
I'll give you mine, see if it sparks something, because to me, like, I remember it was actually after like we had met at the Pass the Ox event, and then you did the All-Star Weekend. Was it the dunk contest or Rising Stars game? Yeah. Like that's like
that was crazy. But it's crazy because that was just one thing in that whole weekend. Like that whole weekend, that was when we saw Steph Curry. Like we were performing at a Chase event, and it's like Steph Curry introduced us, you know, walked on the stage, dapped us up, and we were like, what is going on? Like, how did this happen? And then we went back to the stadium to do the Rising Stars, and then we went back from there to do a Jordan event with like hosted by Marshawn Lynch, and like crazy, you know, smoke-filled arena, you know, red lights, like stage crazy, like, and we all had on like the Jordan apparel. They gave us like free shoes and stuff. So it's like all that was, it's like, I don't know, it's like different periods of time. Because LaRussell will just like, he'll just go back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah. I'm sure that weekend was crazy too, just
crazy.
Like being in the Bay. I'm sure he was in high demand for all that stuff, so you guys were busy. If anything sparks your mind, I'd be curious if there was anything just, you know, that stands out specifically. But we can move into, I guess, later that year or around that same time. You had a song "Finesse" that just like went crazy, and that was another time where that I had heard that song 100 times on TikTok before I even realized that was you, honestly. So, I mean, just talk about, I guess, first like that song, and you know, kind of how that whole thing unfolded.
So, we really recorded it. Me, Concept P, Avo, and Will. We all just had congregated. It might have been our first time all like cooking up together, and it's like we were just making just like beats from scratch, and it's like we made it, played it, recorded it, you know, it was cool. And then it's like I think I performed it at a concert in March, I want to say March 2023. I played it at a concert, and it's like it was cool. And then I was like, actually let me drop it, because it's like I had also gone crazy.
You did the video like in the street, right? Was that the first? That was the first time I remember. I don't know. Maybe I might be.
I think it was. I recorded it in like a dirt patch. Okay. It was like a dirt patch. I recorded like two versions. There was the version that we made out of the studio. That's OG Finesse. And then there's Finesse. That was the one I recorded that on a dirt patch of land. I brought like a table. I had my little interface, and I recorded like me playing a little bit of accents over what we had recorded in the studio. That was the one that was Finesse. So it's like we had uploaded that, and then Finesse Live is another version that I had done at a lake where I played over what I played over before, and that was the one that ended up being the TikTok dance. So there was the TikTok dance version and then the Finesse version. And then the OG Finesse version ended up getting placed with My Baby Rue's song. So it's like that all happened. But it didn't happen immediately. It was all just randomly like months later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm always curious, like with things like that, like, or is that something? I mean, I don't even think that could have been strategic. Just how, I mean, did you know that the people that made the dance, or like, is that just kind of happenstance? It just all happened.
It all just happened. It's crazy because it's like seeing the music industry and learning about it and learn how people like try so hard with stuff, and then it's like I just like stumbled, like we were saying finesse on 3 was our motto back in high school for our basketball team. So it was like finesse on 3, 1, 2, 3, finesse. Like out of finesse shooting sleeve, we would always say finesse. Like that was my senior recital, violin recital poster. Like the album cover art is just a screenshot of the cover. Like I just screenshotted it on my computer, just uploaded it to streaming, and it's like that happened. Then it's like since it got placed on a major label, it's like they were running that a lot, like running a TikTok trend behind that, and it's like the dance happened, and once like
did the placement happen before like the instrumental version kind of took off on TikTok?
I think so, because that was during the T-Pain tour. That happened during a very chaotic time, because it's like I was on the road for the first time. We're sleeping in tour buses, like going back and forth city to city, like doing shows every day. And then it's like I randomly look at my email and like it's some placement and it has like a million views, and I'm like, I'm trying to figure out how to get the business stuff done on that. So it's like that happened, but it's like the one on TikTok, that really like, that made it a legitimate like contender to be able to tell the label like, look, this is our song, like this is a piece of art that is our property, you know, so you gotta like actually license it and stuff, and it actually be considered a track, not just like a viral sound. So yeah,
that's dope. Yeah, that I can only imagine, like, because I feel like stuff like that, it kind of just snowballs. You know what I mean? At a certain point, like it takes on a life of its own. So
yeah. And I was like posting it like 1,000 of times, and I recorded it so much before it went viral that it's like I was just reposting and just clipping up and just
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that too. Like you're very savvy. It seems like on the social media side of things. Like you're doing stuff very deliberately. Like, I guess where are you getting that from? I mean, is that it's too you're doing it? It almost has to be deliberate, right? Like yeah. So.
I've been doing it my whole life. Like when I was little, like the second I had access to technology and social media, it's like I used it to document like life, like Snapchat stories. Like I was like, wow, we can just like document what's going on in life. So it's like I documented my whole life, and then it's like once I met LaRussell, it's like I learned, oh, I can now monetize social media and turn this into a business and use it to like promote my art and market everything. So it's like I already had the like passion for it, and like I actually have fun doing it. It's like I've always wanted to upgrade the camera quality and like get microphones and shoot content. So it's like I've now just been able to do what I love to do like every day and post like consistently, it's like I've just been building up consistency to just like kind of tell a story and let people just go back and watch, rather than me just like hold off and wait to post certain moments at certain times.
Yeah, definitely. So I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, like that, like you said, that finesse song, you were able to take that to the label and, you know, let them see like this is legitimate, you know, this is a song. This isn't just a sound, essentially, like you said. Yeah. And I feel like it seems like from that, like you've kind of been able to get into like a production role in some way versus just, I don't know if that makes sense, kind of what I'm trying to say, like the difference between being a violin player and then being like, you know,
producer, like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
So kind of talk about that just transition and you know, out there.
It's crazy because it's like, it's everything I envisioned. It's like, I'd rather be behind the camera than like be in front of the camera, honestly, because it's like, it's so cool to me that you can, nowadays you can just create anything, and like, especially with music, like you can create the music behind a video and then shoot a video and drop it as a music video. Like, so I've loved to do that, but then it's like I learned how to like bring people into the audience and like sell tickets to shows. So now it's like that's a whole different level of like, how do you make human beings feel good enough to like be able to make your experience so grand that it's like everyone wants to be in the room. Like you show them people having a good time, you can actually hear the sound sounding good. Like, I love syncing the audio from shows with the crowd audio and leaving just like a little bit of crowd audio in there, so it's like people really feel like they're in the room versus just like watching a video and just scrolling on it. So it's like I've loved being able to just not just have to just play the violin, because it's like there's so much more that we could have access to.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad I was trying to phrase that the right way. Yeah. I didn't want, because I mean, just being, you know, but I think that's dope just to be able to expand on it. I want to touch on just a couple more, just like, I mean, I'm going to leave some things out, but just things that stand out specifically to me. You're on Wiz's album, which, like, I think you're maybe a couple years younger than me, but like, to people our age, like that's you know, huge.
Yeah, crazy.
And obviously, like LaRussell was on that song also. So maybe just talk about how that song came together first, and then I have somewhere I want to expound on that. But
we were actually, and that's another crazy week of events. We were at the W Hotel in Hollywood performing with Saweetie for her set. And afterwards, it's like we were about to get into the Sprinter van. And it's like, it was like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I had to fly back to Houston from Los Angeles the next day to make it to the high school's play to watch. And they were like, LaRussell was like, we're about to have a session with Wiz Khalifa. Do you want to go back to the Airbnb, or you want to come to the session? And I was like, I knew that meant that I was going to have to be up to like 3 a.m. I might have to cut it close. I might not even be able to like make my flight. So I was like, And then I think it might have been Hokage Simon looked at me. He's like, bro, it's Wiz Khalifa. And I was like, all right. And so I went, and it's like the first beat they loaded up, like he laid the verse on it, and then it's like LaRussell laid the verse on it, and then it's like I went over there and I just played through the whole track. And it's like, that was it.
Yeah.
And then it ended up on the album.
Yeah. And one thing that I think is really cool about that is the fact that you're featured on the song, because it could be very easily just, you know, could have just been listed as part of the production.
Yes.
But like to have your name on the song, I thought was really dope.
Yes. I feel like it's like so many producers and artists like work their whole lives to like have credits. Like people have credits in their Instagram bio. Like that's how they get clientele. That's how they work with new people. Like, so to be able to actually have that visibility and that like that shows like a level of respect and like that you're an actual artist versus just someone that was part of the song.
Yeah.
So yeah,
definitely. I think you helped on a track on Rocky's new album, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So explain that.
That was even crazier. And that was while I was on tour with T-Pain and LaRussell, and I got a DM from ASAP Rocky, and he was like, yo, I don't know if he's like, where are you based, or basically asking me to help with the new album. And I was like, okay. And I had a free weekend. It was one of those where it's like, I didn't know how I was going to get from point A to point B, but it's like, I went, and then I ended up finding a way back, and yeah, it was crazy. But I went out to New York. I flew out to New York. I got there. I pull up to the studio. Like, I'm standing outside. I meet the other producers, and it's like, I saw my homie Caleb Arredondo. He's actually from, I think, OKC. He plays the sax. I don't know if you've heard the echo sax. Like, he does a lot of like videos. But I saw him there, so I'm like, whoa, what is another person that went to OU with me that I played with at OU doing here with ASAP Rocky? And then it's like ASAP Rocky, he pulled up, you know, hopped out, like dapped us up. He's like, what's up? And then he's like, he went inside. And so we went inside, walk up the stairs, and then I turned the corner, and it's John Baptiste just sitting there with a book in his hand. He's like, hello. And then I was like, at that point, I was like, what's going on? Like, this is crazy. Like, because I expected it to just be like me talking to somebody and like me never even talking to ASAP Rocky or anything.
Maybe go cut a couple tracks.
Exactly. Yeah. It was like really like, oh, we like all went in the room. He started playing a couple tracks. I was like, this is crazy. Like, I had my violin in my hand. I was just sitting there like, okay. And then like we start, you know, cooking up. Him and John Baptiste were working on something upstairs. We went downstairs and basically just started laying some strings and horns on just a bunch of different tracks. I think there might have been, and it's crazy because two of the tracks, so one of the tracks was Ruby Rosary with J. Cole. That dropped as a single a while ago, and then Pray for the Gang was another one. That dropped a while ago. So a couple of them weren't on the album. They dropped as singles before. But Stop Snitching is one that dropped. That was one we worked on. But it's like we were in there just like hours, just like layering and layering, because it's like the album really has a lot of samples that aren't samples. So it's like people think it's samples, but it's like real life humans that then get put into, you know, warped and making it sound like cinematic. So it's like it was a lot of that type of stuff that we were doing. And it was crazy because like in the middle of the night, maybe like 1-2 o'clock, they came back from the studio, ASAP Rocky and John Baptiste, the one upstairs, and they were like, okay, let's go for a walk or something. And they were like, bring your instruments. And so we go, and it's like we went to smallest jazz club, just like a jazz club in New York, like famous jazz club. And it's like we basically like walk in, everyone's like, what's going on? Who's that? And then they're like, oh. And so you're in the corner, and it's like basically like we get next up and basically kick off whoever had next. And it's like John Baptiste gets on the piano, you know, and then it's like I go up there with the violin, Caleb's on the sax, and then it's like a couple like tryhards. But it's like these are real jazz. Like, who would be playing a jazz in a bar at 1-2 a.m. in New York? Like, these are like tryhards. They were all like around there like who are these kids? Like, why are they kicking us off the stage? And then they see John the Baptiste, so it's like they wanted to play on the stage too. But it's like the dude that was over the jam session, he was like going around to people. He was like, "Do you know the song? Do you know the song? Do you know the song?" But it's like I didn't really get asked it because it's like I was with them.
Yeah.
So it's like I didn't know the song, but I knew the melody. Because it's like I had heard it back in school when I was like trying to get into the jazz department, like listening to them. So it's like we start playing, it's like crazy. Everyone's cheering. Like at the end, it's like A$AP Rocky was like talking, like basically telling everybody, just don't be dumb. He's like, all right, we finna head back to the studio and go finish up the album. And it's like we went back. I went back on tour, and now it's like 2 years later. And finally dropped.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. You talked about the T-Pain tour. That's another one I wanted to ask you about because that's kind of like, I guess more like childhood than like Wiz was kind of like adolescence. But T-Pain is like
giant. He's like, it's crazy because it's like, he's like a superstar. So it's like to be able to see like what's the difference between, you know, someone who's famous and someone who's a superstar. Like the superstar is just like, it's people like crazy people. Like people lined up for the concerts. Like we're doing 5,000 plus venues and it's like he's doing that independently, like aside from the label. So it's like, yeah, that was crazy.
for sure. Another one I wanted to ask you about, you rode around Houston with J. Cole, and I tell the truth too,
Yeah.
Which in Houston might be a bigger deal than J. Cole, but maybe not. You know, that's a legend in Houston. So
Definitely.
I mean, just kind of talk about like what is even that like.
That was crazy. I was randomly back home doing like just work and stuff, and I was actually at the gym. I went to hoop at the gym, I think, and I think I rode my bike home from the gym. So I rode my bike home from the gym, but it's like I had seen that it was Trey the Truth week, and like he was doing a whole like list. He does like a list of like he'll go to a club one time, he'll do a bike ride, he'll do like community giving back, like a whole week of stuff. So it's like I saw that he was doing a bike ride. I didn't know J. Cole was going to be there. Nobody knew J. Cole was going to be there, but it's like I was biking back on the way back from the gym, and it's like I just went to join the group to just bike around with them for a little bit. And it's like I was like, J. Cole. And it's like it was a group of people around him, and it's like we started the ride and we rode, and it's crazy because we rode right to the route back to my house. Like it was crazy. It's like we rode downtown and it's crazy. We rode into Third Ward, my neighborhood. I'm like, this is like some like legendary like black history right here. Like J. Cole is riding through, like I still have a bunch of footage that I took like with my camera, because I was like I turned into the paparazzi. I have my camera in my backpack, so it's like I was just getting some like really good flicks and footage. But it's like we went right into my neighborhood. There were people on horses, which is a real like Houston thing to just ride horses on the medians and stuff. And it was like they hit the turn back to go back, and it's like I hit the turn to go back to my house. And
So you just went home?
Yep, it was beautiful. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Insane.
I want to talk about kind of it feels like there's been a lot of kind of, and I know that you're doing it specifically, but there was already some people I feel like kind of dabbling in like hip hop artists doing live bands and like live ensembles and orchestras and stuff like that. I feel like it had kind of been. So just talk about that, because that's really why I asked you that question earlier about it being, you know, kind of, you know, when you were younger, maybe not you know, it would have been cooler to be a rapper than play violin when you were younger. But talk about just kind of, you know, full circle. I feel like hip hop is in a place where it's kind of coming back to appreciate like music, if that makes sense.
Even just music in general, it's like everyone's now anti-AI and anti-technology when it's like they were so pro it just a second ago, and it's like there's this switch that's happening, and it's like we've been playing the music and building like the skill set to be able to just perform and just do instrumental shows or even just having like more instrumentation, like being like, no, we're not just gonna rap over. You can't go perform in a stadium unless you have a band. Like we're just having standards now for just live performances and being able to not just have to hear a DJ.
Yeah, and the first one I could think about, at least that comes to mind, is Chief Keef did a set with, I don't even know,
maybe the Trap Symphony. Yep.
And that one, when it came out, was almost kind of like a meme, you know what I mean? And then they kept that going. That was just the first that I was aware of.
Roddy Ricch had one too.
Exactly, and that one was great. I think it was more just like the idea of Chief Keef, you know, the orchestra didn't really. It's you know, it's a little different. They kind of, but and like I said, it's you know, you're doing shows with a lot of people now, and you know, obviously, so. I don't know. I just think it is exciting because there's always been, I guess, kind of a lane of hip hop that was, you know, certain producers and stuff like that would sample and do things like that. But I don't know. It just seems it seems like there's a real wave of.
It's crazy. It's crazy because I finished. We actually listened to the album, the Don't Be Dumb album, on the way here, and it's like, I think A$AP Rocky and probably J. Cole, when he drops the Fall Off, they're bringing like the jazzy, you know, real like slow things down, melodic, like talk more rather than just like, okay, we're just gonna turn up and be like oops, oops, oops. So it's like this last album is like there's a variety. So I feel like the wave now is gonna be like, okay, let's show people that we have a bag outside of just rapping. It's like you got to add some vocals in there too. It's like you have to do like different things within the same concert. So it's like you can only do that if you have a band that can just adapt and improvise.
For sure. So talk about Hood Orchestra and kind of how that fits into all of what I'm talking about, and kind of what your, you know, idea and mission is. And maybe if people aren't familiar, kind of explain what you're doing first.
Yeah, that's something that I stumbled upon, you know, as the vision, like, of what I wanted to do, teaching the youth, even production, like creating documentaries about, you know, the importance of music education. So it's like, I really just started it off as, let me perform and teach across the country and, you know, raise the funds to be able to do it and be able to make it accessible. Like, in a perfect world, I wouldn't want to charge schools anything for me to come and teach. So it's like, we work towards that. It's like, we give experiences and opportunities to like musicians, string musicians that would never get the opportunity to like play their own music, when it's like the only route for classical musicians has been playing like Beethoven and Bach and all that, to be in a symphony where you can't miss any notes. And it's like, at our concerts, you can miss notes, you can do whatever, you know, play whatever. And we've just been we've been growing like rapidly, but also very steadily. Like, that was part of the reason that I moved back to Houston, was so I could actually solidify like my roots that were already in Houston. Because it's like seeing Vallejo and LaRussell building out of his own backyard and like building out an infrastructure and having merch. It's like, I'm like, I could do this in Houston where it's like cheap, where I grew up in a really, really good neighborhood, central neighborhood, and I could build the neighborhood around me. Like, a lot of the schools need teachers. Like, I could go teach, like, stuff like that. So, yeah, I've been just trying to build there.
Yeah. So to talk about kind of the education side of it, and like connecting with, kids, because like I said, and I kind of wanted to emphasize some of those questions to get back to this point, because I feel like a lot of kids, if they do have a passion for music, the only avenue, like you said, if they are into classical music, there's a one specific lane, or if it's a to express themselves, it's like you're a rapper, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So just talk about why you feel like that's important to show kids that it seems like a different option.
It's crazy because like it's as simple as showing them a different option, and a lot of times it's like you're only shown the option that has been shown to you like via a book and via curriculum for like years. Like this is like they're just repeating the same lessons and the same songs like over and over, and so it's like if they're not showing something out of the norm, they're not thinking that. So it's like I just show them and be like, you can go play in the NBA with your violin, and then they're like, oh, I want to play the violin. Yep. That's really like the lesson plan. Like I really go in there. I've tried to make lesson plans, but it's like in real time you get there and the kids might not be engaged. They might have been having a bad day. Like I do master classes at 7 a.m. or I'll do master classes at 3 p.m. and they look completely different. Like the kids might be hungry. It might be cold outside, windy. But the kids today were great. They were chill. I did it at Jefferson Elementary in Norman.
Okay.
They were good kids.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So, I mean, I guess just I wanted you to maybe just like if people are interested in the program or want to, learn more about the program, is there...
hoodorchestra.org. Mm-hmm. I want to we have all these link in bios and comment this for this and all this, and it's like I want to just be like, here's the source for whatever you're looking for, or michaelprinceviolin.com. Like that's for Michael Prince. Like I try to keep it separate from Hood Orchestra, so it's like that, and then Michael Prince Violin.
So, is there anything? I mean, what do you? I can only imagine. That's a kind of a loaded question, but what are we working on? What's coming up? How do you?
When will this drop? This podcast?
In the next few weeks.
Okay.
Month or so. Definitely within the next month.
Okay. So I can announce this. I was already planning to go to the Bay Area for the Super Bowl, but I was trolling online in a Yappage episode. I have the casual Yappage episodes, and I was like, if somebody wants me to play at the Super Bowl, let me know. And LaRussell texted us earlier first that he's doing the official NFL pregame for the Super Bowl, which is in the Bay Area in San Francisco. So he's doing that, but we're also going to be the official house band for the Super Bowl, like in the actual stadium. So that's going to be crazy in a couple weeks.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
So during TV timeouts and stuff like that, you guys will be...
Yep. And I'm hoping and praying that the Texans make it to the Super Bowl.
That would be nice.
I think they have to win one game. They just have to beat the Patriots, I think.
And then
another game?
Yeah.
They got it. If they beat the Patriots, I feel like they got it.
You performing in a CJ Stroud jersey if they...
Maybe. I don't know. It's like I've never really watched the Texans or rooted for the Texans.
But being from Houston, it's like...
Yeah, but they always break our hearts. That's the thing. It's like...
I'm a Cowboys fan.
This would make me a Houston Texans fan for life. If they go to the Super Bowl, and I get to watch them win the Super Bowl at the Super Bowl, I would be like, it doesn't get bigger than that. Like, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's super exciting.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Anything as far as like drops or new music that we should be on the lookout for?
Music from the Soul. That's the EP with the cellist, Chris Tate. He's a jazz cellist. That is out now on Even, so they can get it direct. And it is also on. It goes up on streaming next Friday. And then I have another album coming, which is called The Follow Through. And that's going to be a big one, because it's like I was supposed to be doing the basketball league in Houston that started back in December. So it's like it was going to be like themed around like basketball and stuff leading into NBA. But it's like now it's just more sports in general. It's like I want to do some cycling themed stuff, some basketball themed stuff around NBA, because we're also doing NBA All-Star Week the next week after Super Bowl. So we're doing that again, but it's in Los Angeles. So it's like we just go down the road. Yeah. And then I want to do, like, I signed up for a marathon next January. So it's like I'm going to start training for that. And I want to do like an album rollout around that. But yeah, just a bunch of side quests. Mm-hmm.
That's dope, man. Well, I appreciate you, taking some time out. I know you got a show while you're in town also.
Mm-hmm.
So
tomorrow.
This, won't be out for that, but I appreciate you, making time to come talk with us. February is going to be insane. So
crazy. January's already been insane.
Yeah. Excited to see
Little John album too with LaRussell. That's coming out. They've been selling that. He's trying to sell 100,000 copies of that, and right now I don't know. It's at some thousand, but Kyrie Irving paid 11,000 for it. Snoop Dogg paid like 5,000 for it. It's like hip hop history going on. So that's been crazy too. So
okay,
just life.
You played a ton on that, or?
Yes, a lot. And that's another one. It's like my name's gonna be on it because it's working with LaRussell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He seems like a really. I mean, you would know better than me, obviously. I don't. Mm-hmm. But just from he seems like a really like he's not afraid to give you game and be genuine and stuff like.
For real. He doesn't really have anything to prove.
That's what I thought about the your name being on the feature the first time. Like I said, that's
he puts everyone around him on. Like yeah.
Well, dope, man. Excited to see what you got coming in
Tiny Desk too.
2026.
Tiny Desk. Yep.
I feel like that's another huge thing.
That is a crazy thing.
Crazy.
Talk about that.
It was
before we go.
That was in. We went into DC. Yeah, went to DC. That was really when we started like really practicing and rehearsing as an ensemble, as like the key section in the choir. And it's like we kind of like we practiced. We did it a couple times, made sure that we actually had it all together, and then we went and we did it. And it was like they don't put it up until a couple months, so it's like we just went about our business, and then they dropped it, and it's like, wow, we're on Tiny Desk. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I guess there probably did have to be a shift at some point, because like the backyard shows, you're kind of, like you said, you don't know what, you're kind of just off the cuff, and then when you're you have set lists and stuff now.
No, not really. It's like there's a set list, but there's not a set list, because it's like we really give LaRussell the ability to like go with how the crowd reacts and how he feels up to like the second that the music starts. It's like we might have a set list and rehearse it, but it might change, and it's able to breathe that way rather than us just having like a show that we do every single time. It's like we haven't had the same show more than once, and we've done hundreds.
Yeah. That's a great, you know, I'm sure people have been to, you know, a lot of shows, but that's, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, I just didn't want to take up too much of your time, bro. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I love yapping. I love being able to like talk about the journey and stuff. We usually don't as artists. They just hear the music and don't see like the actual behind the life. You know?
Exactly. Well, you know, it sounds like before too long we're gonna have a bunch more stuff to talk about. So next time you're in town, we can
Yep, absolutely.
chop it up again. Appreciate you, bro.
Yep, appreciate you too.